Let's go to another hot news from our beloved Chelsea. This time the news is not very good. And before you start, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news, and don't forget to turn on notifications. Secret payments since Russian tycoon Abramovich's arrival at Chelsea are being investigated in England. Chelsea is having a season below expectations and is only 10th in the Premier League. And as everything that is bad can get worse, the Blues' situation in the most disputed league could become even more complicated due to an investigation involving secret payments during the management of Russian Roman Abramovich, which could be subject to punishment due to breach of fair financial play. As published by The Guardian, the London club could lose points if the infraction is proven. According to investigations, the tycoon who owns Chelsea would have paid millions of pounds over at least a decade for the benefit of the Blues, and such accounts would not have been presented to the competent bodies that monitor football movements. Some of the characters involved in the investigations are an agent for Belgian Eden Hazard, who recently announced his retirement, an assistant to former team coach Antonio Conte, and some directors from the English club itself. In relation to signings, Samuel Eto'o's purchases and even that of the Brazilian and former Corinthians player William are the subject of investigation. The scandal came to public attention through Cyprus Confidential, the name given to an international investigation which leaked around 4 million records to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists and the German agency Paper Trail Media. In addition to the news organizations, the Premier League itself and the Football Association, FA, which controls English football, are working on investigations. In continental terms, UEFA would have already notified Chelsea, imposing a fine of £8.6 million. It is not new that Chelsea's financial movements are the target of investigations by the Premier League. Between 2012 and 2019, the beginning of investigations into this case indicated that the English club's financial statements did not contain several important data on transactions carried out during Roman Abramovich's management. The documents analyzed raise new questions about whether the Russian tycoon repeatedly disregarded the rules of financial fair play for the benefit of the London club as the team changed levels within the local and international scene. In 2003, the Russian businessman bought Chelsea for around £140 million, and in a very short time, he invested a substantial amount of resources in the club in search of turning the team, which until then was an average force on the scene, into a protagonist team. And competitive not only in England, but throughout the world. In 2022, the Roman Empire collapsed when Russia invaded Ukraine, and Roman was forced to sell the club due to several sanctions imposed by England. The documents analyzed by The Guardian point to a series of hidden, unsupervised payments that are directly linked to Chelsea's most successful period. In 19 years of management, 21 titles were won, including 5 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, 3 English League Cups, 2 Champions League titles, 2 Europa League titles, 2 English Super Cups, 1 UEFA, and a Club World Cup. In 10th place in the Premier League with 16 points from 12 games, today's Chelsea is very different from what it was during Abramovich's tenure and could become even more complicated in the competition table in the event of punishment. In the last round, the Blues played the best game of the championship so far, drawing 4-4 against Manchester City at Stamford Bridge. The London team's next match will be against Newcastle, after the FIFA data. The game will be held on Saturday, November 25th, at 12 p.m. Brasilia time, at St. James Park.